opportunity to join us.
Boop. Oh, that was bad.
All right, Discord. You let us know when you're seeing us. Oh, my lights changed automatically. I forgot I have that set up. All right, Discord, you in there? I can't hear Tom. I'm seeing you or seeing him. Yeah, Tom's not there. Can you hear me, Frank? Can you hear me and John?
I'm not talking. I mean, I can, but I wasn't talking right then.
Okay. See and hear. Okay, so sounds like they're seeing and hearing us.
Well, that's good. Boop.
All right. Let me go through scenes here real fast. Boom, boom,
How did
boom.
you miss that?
We can hear. John's playing Rocket League if anybody's interested.
Oh, come on. That was in the goal when I ran out of time. That's just
All
wrong.
right. So,
right.
oh, shit. He had me turn off studio mode. That's going to mess with me a little bit. Boom. Hey, look at that. Hey, we got a little
All right. My game is
screen
over.
sharing. Oh, that's for you. See.
Twitch just let me know that PHP Ugly is live and PHP Arch is live.
Yeah, I got to go into both now. Boom and boom. Look a little zoom in, little zoomy in action. Boom and boom and boom. Likey, I likey. All right, that's cool. All right, let's do individuals here. This is me. That's John. That's Tom.
Pause that. I did not pause that.
All right, Tom, if you can talk just to make sure everybody hears you, I think we're good.
Pause. Stupid. All right.
Tom, are you going to talk so people can hear you?
Does that work? Can you do that?
Yes.
Well, that's what we're going to find out.
That's the problem. Well, he's trying to be funny because he's puffing on that thing.
Because I'm hilarious.
Everybody hearing knows no Tom sound for me.
Don't know if it's really that funny.
Well, you should have Tom sound. Tom's set up the same way. You are pretty low though, Tom. Oh, now Tom is audible.
Can't help you there. That's you got to manage that on your dials.
In the where?
Advanced audio mixer. You can, if you hit config on a specific audio stream, you can go above the 10 decibel limit.
You're saying you can't. You're saying you can't adjust your.
No, I have. Well, I can try, but
I would say adjust your input. Is everybody hearing Tom okay, or is he low for everybody? Because
check 1 2.
Tom's volume is like.
I'm pretty peaked on my audio. Yeah, Windows 10 does not allow me much modification of this.
All right, so you want me to turn you up? Well, yeah. Sebi says you sound good.
There we go. That's as high as I can go without really peaking.
Okay. Sort of fades in and out. How about I keep talking? I turned you up to do
Test 1 2. I once knew a man from Nantucket.
See, that's not changing anything for John and I, so it might be working. Is there anything in this dashboard I can change?
Yeah, so if you open up advanced settings for an individual stream, the 3 dots.
No, you didn't hear me. I turned you up in OBS. Do you not see my OBS?
Your
No,
OBS, your OBS volumes are not going to affect what you hear in our Video Ninja chat.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Oh, so audio settings in there.
No, it's one or the other. The Video Ninja chat volumes have nothing to do with the OBS volumes.
Right, I've turned you up in OBS, but John and I are still having trouble hearing you.
Right. So then you guys have to deal with that by turning your speakers up.
No, I just don't want to listen to you. I'll just mute you. See,
Fair
remember that time you muted me? Tom?
Don't at all.
Don't remember that?
Don't remember it.
All right, let me see. What's everybody saying about just less rich than Eric? He seems to drop low.
It's hard to
maybe
tell.
Is there ducking on or something?
No, it shouldn't be. You would have to have an extra driver for that.
Let me. So
I can crank my microphone to 100.
I mean, I'm cranking you up in OBS.
This is as loud as my microphone gets.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah,
Set
yeah,
it back.
don't do that.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
All right. I want to crank you to 11 here in OBS. Like dB is decibels, right?
Yes.
So I mean, I'm at 12 decibels. It seems like that would be a lot, seeing how everybody else is set to 0. Is that helping at all?
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Discord. All right, let me cut over to commercials and let's make sure those are working. Then we'll come back to you, Tom. So Discord, I know you're on a delay. I'm gonna switch over to commercials. If you guys can just make sure you hear all the commercials in Harry Mac and everything, I would appreciate that. So.
One, two, coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host name. 1, 2, coming off the top, y'all know how.
All right, so they're saying no sound. Oh, Harry Mac is okay. Oh, sound for intro.
Yeah, nothing on Cloudways. Nothing on Cloudways for sure.
Did you guys hear Honey Badger?
You didn't run Honey Badger. I didn't see
Yeah, I
it.
did. Are you listening to it, John?
Yeah. There's nothing coming through on Cloudways.
How about Honey Badger? I just ran Honey Badger. There's no on Honey Badger either. All right, let me see what I got going on there. And Harry Mac was okay.
Yep.
All right, let me see what I have set up differently there.
1, 2, coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud.
Someone could trip over the network cable at your data center, and this all comes back to you.
Code runs on can be a time-consuming and error-prone process. Cloudways helps you spend less time managing.
Well, now it's gone.
1, 2, coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo.
All right. Yay, Honey Badger. Now yes in Cloudways, and it's working. Cool.
All right, and I'm loud on YouTube now. Can you put me down 2 decibels?
Yep. Oh yeah, you're spiking hard here.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, we'll figure it all out.
I'm gonna take you halfway from where I had you. I'm gonna take you down to.
It's logarithmic. 1 decibel is logarithmic to double in volume.
All right. Well, why don't you talk now and listen to yourself on YouTube and see if that sounds
check,
better.
1 2 check 1 2. Tom is the best. Yeah, I know.
How to open another bottle of scotch. Oh, I guess I need to make sure.
All right, you can drop me down another 2 decibels.
Actually, let me make sure I don't have you guys on those commercials.
When you're in production, 1,000 things can go wrong. You could
1 2 1 2. Come. 1 2 1 2. Coming up.
when you're in production.
This video is brought to you by Cloudways. We're
All right.
All right, it is now after 9 o'clock.
Is it really? Holy shit! All right, we're good to go. You want me to drop you a little bit more, Tom?
Do I want to what?
You want me to drop you a little bit more?
Just 2 more decibels.
All right, why don't you give that one a listen? Welcome, everybody who's might be joining us. You need to talk, Tom.
Check. All right, that'll
I think
work.
it's good.
Right.
Good.
Alrighty. In that case, let's show on the road. Oh boy! All right. Been a while since I've done this, so I have everything in my Stream Deck, which is nice. So we'll see how well this works. Make sure I still have the skills to thrill. All right, feeling good about that. I saw my mute. All right, cool. All right. Now that my windows are all over the place now, let me pull up so I can figure out where I'm at. 308. All right, you guys ready for this?
As ready as we're going to be.
Okay.
1 2 1 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with a clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
From the Pacific to the Rocky Mountains and around the world, you're listening to the PHP Ugly Podcast, episode 308. We are three real-world developers who make a living with the PHP programming language and use it to code up tomorrow's legacy code today. We live stream every Thursday night. If you're here and you want to be part of the live stream, you can do that by joining us in our Discord at discord.phpugly.com. and be part of the show. This is our Discord. Hello, Discord. I am stressed out this time. This intro, I'm very stressed out because I'm steering the ship today, and I've got a lot of things running through my head. But we would like to thank a few groups for making our stream a little better. First, our Patreon supporters, our patrons on Patreon. We thank you very much. We also have a couple of sponsors, honeybadger.io and Cloudways. We'll talk about all of them a little later in the show. We will get to everybody, I promise. Allow me to introduce myself. I am your humble host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me tonight is John Congdon.
I like the layout.
And Tom Rideout.
Disprove.
I've got to switch over to John when I introduced him. Damn. Had that all set up, and I forgot to do it.
Wow, I just got dizzy.
Yeah, we were told not to use the fade effect. You're going to have to get the move plugin for OBS.
Well, all right. If you're tuning in or you're wondering what's going on, we've actually been streaming for about 20, 30 minutes now. Tom is going to be out of town next week. Tom normally handles OBS or has been handling OBS for the last couple of years. So I've kind of reset everything up on my machine so I could control OBS. So if Tom calls in, he doesn't have to worry about it. So there may be some weirdness going on there. There are some different layouts. I thank you, John, for noticing that the layouts are a little cleaner.
I like how slow the ticker at the bottom is going.
Yeah, I was going back and forth on that.
It's really slow.
Yeah, I figured all it has to do is get through within an hour. Like, get through all the names in an hour and see we should be good.
That might be close then.
But yeah, back in the day, like way back in the day, I used to handle all the streaming stuff, all the OBS stuff, and all that. And then eventually, Tom decided he wanted to take a crack at it.
I complained that I wanted a Stream Deck. And that you had one, and so you literally mailed me the Stream Deck and said, "Fine, it's your fucking problem now."
That's right.
That's how it happened.
That is not how it happened at all. You're such a liar.
That is absolutely how it happened.
I think he's right. I'm done.
Whether or not like mailing me the Stream Deck, the goal was to get me to like edit the video. Whenever you give me something, you have to make it like it has to be about me making the podcast better. And so you gave me the Stream Deck and you said, now it's your problem. You're handling the video and goddamn, I do a good job. That slow scroll is
all
really...
right. So you told me I need to install some plugins, and I actually looked at a couple of plugins to install. But here we go again. For those who don't know, I'm Linux full time. Pop OS is what I'm running, and Pop OS. Maybe other distros are doing this as well, but I've been on Pop OS for a couple of years now, and Pop OS is really pushing hard to Flatpaks, and I don't know how to install plugins. So the OBS I'm running is a Flatpak. I don't know how to install a plugin here because I can't install it in my system because the Flatpak is its own kind of directory, its own little garden.
How does it normally work in other systems? Is it you just drop a file in a directory, or
no? In other systems, it's part of your system, right? So OBS installs as a regular package. And then, yeah, the OBS plugins essentially install into a directory. But yeah, the package knows how to install into that directory, but it doesn't. There's no Flatpak version of a plugin.
So, by my understanding, you have to edit the Flatpak once it's installed. So you have to mount it as if it was a device, edit it, and then unmount it back into a Flatpak.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, it's unpleasant.
Yeah, I was going to try to build it from source and then manually move, because they're just SO files, right? They're just single file typically.
Yeah.
And I was going to just try to build things by source and then manually put it in the Flatpak directory and see if that worked. But the one I tried to build just didn't like me, because when you're trying to build it, you actually have to tell it where your OBS source is. I assume it just checks certain libraries and stuff. And when I did that for the Flatpak, it just kind of barked at me. It's like, hey, this is not an install. What is this? So,
Yep.
I'm not a fan of Flatpaks. They're coming along,
Yeah.
but
Well, you
I
don't
tell
have
you,
to use them. I mean, you're on Pop! OS, sure, and Pop! OS will prefer Flatpaks, but you have no requirement to use a Flatpak.
so here's the problem with that approach, and I agree with you. And that was my mentality before I did my rebuild, which I did a few months back. Was that I always installed the Debian package. The issue with that, and Pop! OS is very forward with this, they don't keep those packages up to date anymore. If you want a current version of software, you have to install the Flatpak. They're not trying to keep the Debian packages up to date, and I guess a lot of developers aren't keeping the Debian packages up to date.
My problem is between Snap, Flatpak, and Debian packages, I always forget what's installed, and I often end up with multiple versions where I'll install with Flatpak and Snap, and then which one launches is whichever one happens to come up in my little quick find or whatever they call it launcher.
Yep. And again, it used to be that Pop! OS, if you had two installed, it would show you the Flatpak version and the Debian version. Now it doesn't do that. So I did install the OBS Debian, and it was a few versions behind, but I installed the Flatpak, and now whenever I go to launch it, Pop! OS won't even show me the Debian package installed, and I never uninstalled it. It won't even show it to me. It'll just say, hey, you have a Flatpak installed. Here it is.
Interesting.
There was an interesting survey about software developers who didn't tell their family members what they did for a living, because then they would have to support them installing things on their computer. And this reminds me so much of like explaining to my grandpa, there's not going to be an icon. You have to manually create icons, because it's a command line launched thing, and there's a K icon creator that works for KDE that you can use that helps with this stuff. But compile from source. What are you doing? You're on Linux. Download the source code, compile it on your local machine, and run it from there. Run a nightly build.
Oh, you're talking about OBS itself?
Sure. Why are
maybe?
Why
I
are
might
you
do
guys?
that.
You guys are relying on packages being built for you on a nightly basis? That's wild to me.
Oh, shut up, Mac OS. Fuck you. You don't build shit.
I want to get off this. I have a complaint.
Let me hear it.
While it is scary, you're supposed to be wearing Halloween shirts this month.
I thank you for asking, John. I appreciate that. I am actually wearing a Halloween shirt, a geeky one.
So I just saw the Arrow 404, so I was like, it is scary, but all right, stop. Please stop.
Yeah, a little bit of a dance.
We just lost half our listener or viewer.
No, we got Patreon supporters out there. The tip jar, baby. So here's my other issue with
Sign up
Flatpaks.
for Patreon just because of Eric's dance right there. Note it in the sign up form. There's a notes field. Note it in the sign up form. I will send you an extra sticker. I won't do anything.
I will dance every week if we get more Patreon supporters from it. I will totally do that. So here's my other problem with Flatpaks is that they are freaking huge. Like they're like gigs of install. It's crazy how big a Flatpak is.
I've never downloaded a Flatpak. I don't think. I think I've always done. If I've done Flatpak, it's through the Pop! OS shop. Otherwise, I've been able to download the Debian package.
Yeah,
Or source code, and I compile it from source because I'm a real man. Is that what I'm supposed to say,
Yes.
Mr. Tom?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I just use I use the command line. There's command line Flatpak install, and then I think Pop! OS. Yeah, Pop! OS does the Flatpak install for you as well. You probably can download a Flatpak. I don't know. I've never done that.
So am I just like showing my age when I use Yum?
I have no. That's fine.
That's just a different distro altogether. But yeah,
and everyone has to because NPM is such a dumpster fire.
NPM? What does NPM have to do with Yum?
Oh no, you're right. I'm
not yarn. Not yarn. We're like jumping all sorts of technologies here.
You are not a tech.
Oh, not Yum. Apps.
I would say Yum. That's funny you should say Yum because that was SUSE. I thought you were a Red Hat guy.
Yeah, so apt is Debian still.
No,
yeah, apps.
Yeah, it's deb packages.
Red Hat are RPMs.
Or
they used to be maybe I'm showing my age. They used to be RPMs.
Yeah.
So CentOS
still RPMs, but
yeah,
CentOS is a Debian fork. So apt get
what?
All that stuff is deb packages.
We are just spinning our wheels here.
I don't think you're right on any of those points, Tom, to be honest with you.
I know that they're deb packages because apt install is just a deb-i.
Yeah, that is a Debian thing,
That's a
right?
Debian package.
I didn't think that was CentOS.
RPMs I haven't dealt with in forever.
But CentOS uses Yum versus apt.
Anyways, this is a PHP podcast.
I was a CentOS person for a long time, so I got confused. I meant apt.
I was SUSE for a long time, and then I was Gentoo stage 3. If that turns anyone on.
Probably more than Eric's dancing, just to say.
Hey,
well, the great thing about
beautiful dancing.
The great thing about a Gentoo stage 3 install was that you booted off of a kernel and then ch rooted into the kernel that you compiled during the process. It's like you literally switched OSs on the fly. It was the coolest thing in the world.
Eric, I'm switching topics again. Your shirt is reminding me. I played Rocket League earlier with somebody named I'm a Teapot, and they were on the other team. And I wrote just saying 418 ? And they responded with HTTP status code 418. It's a geek thing. I was like, I know my name is literally PHP architect in this game.
Well, in the fact that you said 418, like that wasn't in the title, was it?
No.
So the fact that you even said 418 should have been pretty obvious. You knew what you were talking about.
Right. Well, as far as I knew, I looked it up. I don't know. But then at the same time, I said, I know I'm a PHP geek. They said, oh, you probably knew that already because you do PHP, or since you're a PHP architect. It was funny. And then my teammate was like, get a room. And he was not a very nice teammate. He was mad that I was
Rocket League, you say?
Talking Rocket League. Yep.
Full of nice teammates.
full of them. You get them all the time.
Oh, man.
It's just fun being a geek sometimes and seeing things like that out in the wild.
I'm going to be playing a lot of Rocket League soon. Like a
Why is
lot
that?
of Rocket League. Well, I'm going to Silicon Valley, which feels like achieving your dreams as a PHP developer. Where you're
It's
like,
the
"Woo,
Mecca.
going to Silicon Valley. Yeah, exactly. It's the mecca of software development, and boy, did I just start to lose my shit this afternoon.
Because you're going.
Yeah,
Well,
because so
honestly, I don't know if Silicon Valley is that great because I don't think it's as much of a like urban area as like San Francisco itself, which is really where like all the geeks like to hang out. Silicon Valley I think are like the corporate geeks, the money.
yeah. So I have 2 Google photo albums ready. One of them is the official, hey, how was your trip to the headquarters? And one of them is, look at all these freaks acting like this shit is normal. And so like the guy writing the penny farthing, going to Starbucks, that guy goes in the weird Silicon Valley shit column.
Penny farthing. Is that the bike with the huge front wheel and
Yeah,
the
the
tiny
one
back wheel?
giant wheel.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I'm wondering what he's the CEO of. And then there's going to be the like, hey, here's me in front of Alphabet headquarters and formerly
Wait,
Petco.
you're leaving the hotel?
Yeah, the whole thing's a mess.
Are you going to be like handcuffed? Are they forcing you to? I'm confused.
They're not forcing me to. I would say the environment in which things cost money to live is forcing me to. I do have to pay for stuff. And being in Silicon Valley is one of the requirements. I'm very excited, so much so that it buffer overflowed into my terror section of my mind. So I'm super thrilled. Gonna take this trip much lower. It's at the bottom of the bay for the video viewers.
We cannot hear you, Eric, in this.
Sorry about
screen.
that. No. I was muted.
Oh,
I was
okay.
wondering why there was a heart there. I'm like, why is there a heart there? I'm like, oh yeah, that's where my kid lives.
Yeah. So that's one of my plans is to call up, let's say, Discord members who want to hang out and grab a drink and discuss D&D and mental illness.
You're being called out, Eric.
Which is usually the same general conversation. I have a Halloween party on Thursday. I am ready for. Yeah, Eric is out here doxing his own children.
So you're going to be in Silicon Valley on Halloween? Is that the deal?
No. So I will be getting back the day before Halloween. And
but there will be a Halloween party while you're there. Is that what you're saying?
While I'm there, the Halloween party is going on, and it's cool. Like it's hard to express. Like every day when my wife comes home, trying to express upon my wife like how progressive and smart and great the company I work for is also mixed in with like, oh my God, the coding problem I had today was total chaos and I'm losing my mind. But like the company I work for is so amazing. And I'm really excited to meet all of the people that work there and to work with them in the office. but I'm also terrified of the whole experience of like going somewhere and not being at home, and also the expectation that I didn't forget anything, which is already like I have an empty suitcase and an empty laptop bag, and I'm freaking about the things I forgot to put in them.
Which is everything at this point.
You know,
But you know what?
I'll-
You know what going there is going to be? What?
I smell a segue.
No.
Eric was
Do you know what going there is going to be a perfect opportunity to do? Talk to them about going to tech. Talk to them about sponsoring tech.
Oh, that's high on the list.
I was so ready to hit the Cloudways button. I thought I honestly thought that's where you were going, John.
Welcome
No.
to my world. Welcome.
No, I wanted
on the segue.
not yet. I wanted to hear about that, and then you can do whatever you want to do for that.
No, I will absolutely. I will not be speaking at a user group. I will try to attend a user group if there is one. Joe Ferguson.
You always did a great job speaking at our user group. Why would you not do that?
No, he really didn't.
We forget that was an alcohol provided user group, and that
You don't think it would be in Silicon Valley for crying out loud?
no, and that you guys were also drinking, so you thought I did great.
Good point. Good point.
I
The
will
only thing I,
see what I can do about user group attendance.
the only thing I would tell you as far as forgetting things, because this is a real concern Mrs. Shocum has when we travel, is forgetting things. And I've learned, because I've done a lot of traveling as well as traveling to other countries, and it's a pretty consistent pattern I see that there are stores in just about everywhere you go. Like, we're not going like in the wilderness. So whatever you forget, there's a good chance you can buy it.
Or if you lose it in the airport, you could probably find somewhere to buy it.
Go buy a new laptop if you need to. Probably walk right out the store with one.
I was 90%,
I had a friend that did that once.
90% expecting the worst transition to a Cloudways advertisement I've ever heard.
All right, let's
Forgetting
pay some bills. We're gonna pay some bills. I'm not gonna segue like Tom does.
things you never forget.
Pay some bills. The one thing you won't forget is to pay the bills.
This video is brought to you by Cloudways. We are all developers and love to write code, but managing the servers that code runs on can be a time-consuming and error-prone process. Cloudways helps you spend less time managing your servers and more time doing what you really want to do, coding. You only need one account to manage servers on multiple platforms and for multiple customers. Pick just the server size and location that makes the most sense for you and your customers. You can even estimate your costs for your server before spinning it up. Cloudways offers peace of mind and flexibility so you can focus on growing your business instead of dealing with server management. With Cloudways, you get an optimized stack, managed servers, backups, a staging environment, integrated Git, pre-configured Composer, 24/7 support, and a choice of 5 different cloud providers: Amazon Web Services, DigitalOcean, Linode, Google Cloud, and Vultr. Get a discount of 20% for 3 months using the code PHPARCH. Check them out today.
Thank you, Cloudways.
Thank you, Cloudways.
So as we were in commercial, we came to a realization. We have been recording for a long time because, like I said earlier, I am working on my OBS setup. What we didn't do is start our other separate stream recording where we just record our audio. That's what I use to edit together the audio podcast. It allows me to clean up everybody's stream. I cut out segments where, like just didn't make sense or whatever. And boom, we get going. Yeah, we forgot to do that because that's normally my job before the stream starts. When I start to do my intro, I'll start recording because we get the times lined up so I know where commercials are. because the commercials don't come across on the audio stream that we record. So if you're listening to the audio podcast, you're thinking to yourself, hey, this quality isn't as good as it normally is. It's because I ripped it from the YouTube stream. So sorry.
Whoops.
It happens. It's not so much because you're running OBS. It's that we started recording a half hour early.
Well,
So it's all good. It'll be
opinions can
fine.
differ. Some jobs
It'll
are
be
harder
fine.
than others. Hey, don't forget to click this link. That's an easy job.
Whatever.
All right, it's your job now, mister.
things I don't have access to.
All right, we're talking about user
Over
groups.
again.
John, you know who doesn't have a user group?
San
San
Diego.
Diego.
You want to know something? I think about it every single day now because it is part of my presentation for the upcoming Longhorn PHP.
Oh,
Where-
that's gotta hurt.
So every day where I'm practicing my opening and I bring it up, it's like, I know I need to do this.
Yes,
mean,
you really do.
I submitted a bunch of resumes that had a bunch of user groups that don't exist on them anymore. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
All right, I don't want to call you out, Tom, but if you don't run a user group for at least a full year, you can't say that you ran that user group.
Yeah, ran Laravel.
Ran it to the ground.
SD Lug ran for a year and a half.
SD Lug did run for a year and a half.
Taylor Otwell, interviews with Caleb Porzio.
No, you didn't. Taylor Otwell, Jeffrey Way.
Jeffrey Way. Those guys, all of them.
Adam Wathen. We did an interview with Adam Wathen.
Who was also
Caleb hadn't invented Livewire yet, or we would have started a Livewire user group. I can guarantee you.
We did do an episode on the road where Caleb Porzio was interviewed, and I believe
That was
I ran a
PHP.
fashion. I said, "Oh, you're one of my idols. I have to go."
Caleb did talk to the SDPHP group. We really appreciated that. Back in the early days of Livewire, he's
Who was
too
our
big of a bigwig now.
MySQL hookup?
Dave.
Dave Stokes.
Yeah, every time, just like the most amazing presentations.
What, Joe?
Thank you, Joe.
What?
Coming to my defense.
Professional.
This is why you want to join us for the live stream. The Discord just keeps going. Now, the Discord's with us all week long. We have chats back and forth. People present us with things they'd like us to talk about on the show, which maybe we'll actually get to this week. But yeah, the Discord is where to be. I don't want to keep giving the URL because we say it too much, and it's on the screen. So if you join the live stream, you can kind of see I got it down here in the right corner now.
There was something going on earlier you said you were going to talk about. Oh, well, I don't know what that was, but you shared a picture last week on Twitter where you were in I don't know if it was a farm or just a shop. We didn't talk about it last week, did we?
It didn't happen last week. It wasn't.
Was it this? Oh, is this past weekend?
Well, it was. Yeah, it was. I think it was this past weekend. You're talking about this here, John?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to get some spices, and this was a very concentrated spice farm that I found. So I think it was arugula they were growing arugula in the wild. Yeah. Oh, I guess I should just. There we go.
It does look like marijuana.
Does it? Is that what marijuana looks like? I wouldn't know what marijuana looks like. But yeah, maybe that's what marijuana. That might explain why I passed out after I ate those cookies. I'm not sure.
It does look like a CO2 infused artificial light indoor hydroponic grow room.
Let's
I'm
go
getting-
Padres.
I was
Okay.
getting messages later like, this might be the cookies talking, but I got this great idea.
So there's this magazine for sale, right?
That is 100% a true story. Like, I'm pretty baked right now, but I got this idea. Yeah. So, I mean, here in the U.S., certain states, marijuana, cannabis is completely legal to smoke, to eat, to consume recreationally, as well as medically.
All those ones blue.
Yeah. And California is one of them. So I personally do not smoke it anymore. I tried it when it first came out, but I have some health conditions, and the whole smoke thing wasn't working. Even vaping, my doctor's like, just don't do it.
Eric's purely on dabs.
Yeah. So but it is a legal thing to do here. It's just the same as alcohol. You know, kind of the same thing.
And with Biden's recent announcement, it's probably going to be that way nationwide eventually.
Yeah, I mean, he did give that universal pardon, right?
Mhm.
So anyways, I enjoy exploring. It's one of the things I like to do. And one of the things I'll explore cannabis stores. And cannabis stores here in California, at least, the range is incredible. Like, there'll be cannabis stores that are shady, that look like little closets, and there are cannabis stores that will put an Apple store to shame, and
Right.
everything in between. It's crazy. I've had people come from out of town where cannabis was, legal, in their state, and they had nothing like some of the stores we have out here. It's insane. So I've been to some pretty schwanky cannabis stores. It's just one of the things I like to do. I like to explore things, and I live in a new area. So we're still trying to find a good Vietnamese restaurant. And I was in this area where this Vietnamese restaurant had gotten a lot of good ratings. And I look over, and it was only the outside of the store, and it was the largest freaking weed store I have ever seen in my life. Like, it was the size of like a furniture outlet store. It was massive. I'm like, yep, got to go in there. Got to see what's in behind those doors, because that's a lot of real estate there. I need to see what's going on. So I go inside, and like, it was like a fairly big store, but it wasn't spectacular, and it definitely wasn't the size of what was on the outside. Like, it was a reverse TARDIS. It was smaller on the inside than it looked like on the outside. So, I'm talking to the guy, and I give him some money, and I'm like, hey, I bought a few products, maybe. I don't know, some cookies, some gummies,
Bought some lighters and coasters.
Hey, I have to do something with that Patreon money. But so I tell the guy, I'm like, hey, I got to be honest with you. When I walked in here, I was really expecting something like more wow. And he looks at me, he goes, oh, and he hits this little button, and these two shades start going up on one of the walls, and that's what I saw. Just like never-ending weed. I'm like, you grow on site? Yes, we do. We grow on site.
I just love that there's some owner of the faux Q Up dispensary next to a Vietnamese restaurant who's like, all right, this place looks kind of small. What if we added curtains that slowly opened onto the grow room? And then there's like 8 other people who are like, fuck yeah, that is the best idea in the world. Like James Bond shit. Like, I am endlessly fascinated with what stoners will come up with to, like, A, act like they're not stoners, but then B, when you realize they're stoners, they're like, fuck yeah, look at this. Like, it's
It's not just you, Eric. I don't know if it's
Okay.
coming through on the stream like that, but it's messed up.
All right. So that wasn't just me. That just happened to you as well.
Yeah.
Tom, we could like barely hear you, and then all of a sudden we could hear you again.
Perfect. That's how I like things. It's this tight cardioid microphone.
Yeah.
That if
Oh, it looked like
was
it happened on the
like-
stream as well. Yeah.
It was like when you got excited, all of a sudden your mic was just cut in half, and then it stayed that way for a while, and then all of a sudden you were like back full, and you could see both Eric and I go, huh? Like,
I've got a pill for that now. I'm all set.
So yeah, so I visited a dispensary, my first one since moving out of San Diego. I had a couple I would frequent in San Diego, but yeah,
For their lighter
You-
selection.
does anybody want to talk about PHP and coding weeks? That might be weird, but we should probably do that.
Coding weeks?
Our week at our hell week that we've had. That's for damn sure.
it wasn't the best week. Why don't you start, John?
We had somebody again. One of our clients has a legacy app that we've made a lot of modifications to. Like, we've touched a lot of the code and have improved it. One place that we have been hesitant to touch is the checkout flow, the cart where people can buy and it just works. Everything's fine. Don't want to touch it. I know of a couple of things within there where I'm like, why are we still doing this way? Like, what's the purpose of it? So someone figured out that they could create an account and try and buy and then do, what was it, a bin attack? Or a bin where they're trying all the bins of a credit card. They tried like
Yeah.
20,000 credit cards. Not that they were necessarily trying to complete a checkout process, because the checkout process is broken down into two steps. It's fill all the information in, go to the next screen, and it's a confirmation. Do you want to complete this purchase? Well, in between there, this old code hits authorize.net and does a check of the credit card and make sure that we can charge it. Everything is fine. And I'm assuming that somebody figured that out. It was like, well, if I don't complete the checkout, I can now go back and try another credit card. And they just cycled through thousands and thousands of tries where we saw it, stopped it, talked about things to put in place to prevent it. But this is Friday evening. So everyone's like, oh, we'll deal with it Monday. Well, of course they do. They continue over the weekend and come in Monday to, oh, by the way, authorize.net has shut us down. Like, we can no longer process any transactions. Okay.
That was fun.
Jump right on that. Authorize.net releases their ban. Visa says, oh, we're going to continue to ban you for 72 hours minimum because of this.
Oh.
Yeah, that was not fun. Luckily, client super understanding, like, was very cool about it. We put things in place right away to do some rate limiting and then continue to improve upon it, and came up with just a ton of business rules of what's allowed, what's not allowed, being proactive in the monitoring. But talk about a stressful week.
Yeah.
when your biggest client gets shut down and can't take money, and that's how they pay you.
And it's so weird because it was
Right.
such like a niche part of the code that, man, it was just like, how did they find that? Like, what a weird thing to find. And
Timings. So this is a classic random number generator attack, which is write a script that checks for unusual timings in between actions. If you look for action 1 and action 2, time the difference between them, then you can determine if it's using a specific algorithm for encryption. And if it's using that algorithm, then you can break it by adjusting the timings. So like that's a very advanced attack. That's like a state-sponsored level attack. Now, what's interesting to me is that, well, you doubt my expertise, John?
No, I don't doubt your expertise, other than you saying it's a state-sponsored attack on one of our clients, which
It's a state-sponsored means that it could come from Russia or North Korea or
no, I understand what you meant by it. Like,
yeah.
I know what you meant by state-sponsored.
That's a very advanced level of attack. What's interesting to me is that the solution is local rate limiting, like rate limiting on the application versus moving entirely to a third party or like a microservice style self rate limiting system where you say, yeah, I've got these 3 services, here's their standard rate for transactions, and stop sending it to authorize.net or stop sending it to whatever your processor is before it gets to that processor, because once it's out of your hands, it's out of your hands.
Right. So that's exactly what we did, was immediately put in local rate limiting. You can't hit this page more than X times per minute.
Okay.
And then in addition to that, let's find a logical number of transactions that you should be able to attempt. Like, how many times are you going to fail entering a credit card number, or how many times how many different credit cards are you really going to try? Granted, you're a college kid and your parents gave you a couple of credit cards. Maybe you're going to try a few, but not 20 or 30. So put in some logical business rules. Like, once you try this number of attempts, you just get locked out. You're done. Like,
sure. So let's say you lock a customer out. How do you even know that you've locked a customer out? Is there some kind of error management system that could catch when you intentionally throw a warning or
let me think about that one.
When you're in production, 1,000 things can go wrong. You could deploy a bug in your latest release. Your background jobs can silently fail. Someone could trip over the network cable at your data center, and this all comes back to you. You need to know when bad things happen and be able to respond to them quickly. That's why we built Honeybadger. It's easy to install Honeybadger in your back-end applications and front-end JavaScript. It only takes a few minutes of configuration and you'll have monitoring done. That's because we hook into popular web frameworks, job systems, and the browser, so that when any of them crash, we can automatically let you know. We ping your application from our global fleet of servers to let you know about problems with connectivity, latency, and SSL certificates, and we monitor your recurring jobs to see if any of them stop recurring. When there's a problem, we alert your team using the tools you already use. We can create issues in GitHub, Jira, and other issue trackers, and send notifications via Slack, PagerDuty, or other channels. When you click through, you'll be taken to detailed information on the error. You'll see things like request parameters, headers, user information, and the backtrace. Click on any line of the backtrace to view it in GitHub, Bitbucket, or your local editor. When you fix a problem, just mark it resolved and follow up with the affected user. That's Honeybadger. We're the monitoring tool for web developers who'd rather be, well, developing.
Thank you, Honeybadger.
Thank you, Honeybadger.
I feel like a rate limiting service is something that is like a much needed service, a middleware service that developers don't have to worry about, where they say like, hey, as soon as whatever this call is gets out of bounds, like, let me know, throw a flag on it, because this is an operations and a DevOps thing that comes up all the time, where like I accidentally hit Amazon 100,000 times over the weekend because of a miscount.
But that exists.
What is?
So there's 2 different ones you're talking about there. There's accessing your API, rate limiting inbound.
Sure.
And then there's also rate limiting outbound.
Well, so inbound
rate limiting
would be like Cloudflare.
Cloudflare's one. There are API gateways. AWS has one. I forget the name of it, but that would rate limit inbound just fine. Outbound, I'm trying to think of the name of it, Eric. We were looking at it recently.
Well, if it was an Amazon service, it would be
No,
called
it wasn't
Sandbox or Fairway.
No, it wasn't
limit.
an AWS. Oh, it was. I think it was a Honey Badger. It was a Honey Badger product that they advertised with us, and then they switched back to.
Oh, what was that called?
Well,
Oh
now
man,
we're ungrateful lovers.
Yeah. Now I feel really bad.
Yeah.
They had that where you basically use them as a proxy, and then they would do the back off properly. They would try to hit another API for you, another endpoint.
I would love
and
that.
then, yeah, I'll find it before the end of the show.
Yeah, I
'Cause
don't
we-
think
we
it's on
were-
the main site.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know,
were
man.
advertising it
We're
for a
getting
little
close.
bit.
You don't have a lot of time.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, tracking uptime integration. Yeah, it was a completely different product, wasn't it?
It was.
Who's
Yeah,
stepping
I'll have to look it up. I know where I have it at. Actually, I'll look it up real quick. While you
Hook
guys are
relay.
talking.
Hook relay.
There
is what
you
it was
go.
called.
Hook relay. Let's see if that's still a thing.
Well, who's squeaking, by the way?
That would be my dog, who's decided that I've done my podcasting thing long enough.
Done your duty.
It's time for me to pay attention to them. So
Yeah. Hookrelay.dev.
Dev,
Yep.
see if it's still a thing. It's still a thing.
It's still a thing.
Matter of fact, I just got an email. I think they're coming out with another service, dude. You need look. Monkey.
That's all.
Go fetch monkey. All right, I just threw it the other side of the house. Take about 15 minutes for it to get back here.
We're calling him your dog now.
What's that?
We're calling him your dog now.
Her? No, she's
Yeah.
not my dog. We're just watching her for probably another 2-3 months.
Fostering for another 10 years.
Come here.
Yeah. It sounds like it's a done deal. So yeah, Tom, going back to what you were saying, this is what you're talking about, right? Where you are making outbound API calls, they fail because you are rate limited. It does the back off for you.
Yeah, but so many APIs are terrible. And B, they expect real-time response, like request response behaviors. I think as developers, as web developers, we need to get rid of the concept of expecting real-time cross-domain request response behaviors.
Correct. I mean, with the APIs, it's supposed to be, you're supposed to give back a 200. Okay, I got your webhook.
I got your request, but
Yeah.
that's no one is doing that. No one. I have not encountered an environment where we make a third-party service call and then just say, hey, at some point they're going to respond to us outside of what they call webhooks.
Well,
Webhooks
no, you
classically shit.
well, webhooks aren't supposed to be real time request response, but other APIs are.
Nothing.
Like,
I don't think they should. There's
But-
too much probability of downtime. There's too much probability of bad data. Requesting data from a third party is always terrible.
But 99% of the time, you are doing it in real time response to a request.
Sure, 99% of the time, but I've got 15 external services, which means that 92% of the time, there's going to be an error somewhere along the system.
So I think like Amazon deals with this in the way where their entire front end is built from microservices, and if they don't get a response within a certain amount of time, they just ignore that piece of data, right? Like if I don't get a response from our customer reviews endpoint, we're just not going to put customer reviews on the page. We'll render it without.
Yeah, that works for 0% of the companies I've ever worked for.
No, I agree. That's not necessarily easy, because usually when you're building a page, you need the data on there.
Yeah.
I can't show you a product if I don't have the pricing, and if I'm getting that pricing from a third party.
So if you always expect your data to be queued and coming in much later than the request that you initially put out, then you can handle it correctly from the get-go.
You can, but not as straightforward. I mean, what you're talking about is a drastic shift in how we all develop.
Yes.
I get a request from a user from a browser. I need to immediately send off my request to these third-party APIs. What are you suggesting happens with the browser? Am I waiting to respond until I get those things back from the APIs, or are you saying respond to the browser and then they need to have a WebSocket open, so as I get this data back, we can fill in the page?
I haven't dealt with this in a long time, and the way that it originally was Comet, which was like an open connection, not a WebSocket, like an open HTTP connection that just sat and waited. But I think as programmers, when we're looking at third-party services, we have to always say, this could take a half an hour to respond.
Well, then you're not going to do keep a socket open for sure.
Right. You can't do Comet. You can do WebSockets, or you can do...
But a user's not going to wait around for more than a couple seconds for the data they need.
Depending on what it is. Previously, I worked with loan applications where I had 48-hour turnarounds on stuff.
Well, that's not a web request where somebody needs a response right away. That's your data has been submitted. We'll respond to you when we have an answer.
You would be fucking surprised.
Well, that's not unusual.
I've had APIs that expected there to be an operator to assess the request and hit OK or no, like yes or no, and then the response would return to the original requester. Like
That's horrible.
Yes, it's horrible, but people do it. People do it.
I've dealt with APIs in the past. I can't think of one off my top of my head where it would basically be a batch operation where I could send a bunch of data, and then they would respond with I got your request, and here's an ID for that request. And they would either webhook saying, hey, it's ready, or I could poll and say, hey, is the data ready for this yet?
Quicken is let's call it, very large Fortune 500 company. I had an issue where when I sent them a receipt ID, their XML response had a recipient ID. They had misspelled receipt in the XML response. And I had to account for if they figured that out and eventually fixed it.
Well, that's just being proactive. I mean, if they just fixed it without telling people, that would be dumb.
The documentation did not match the response, which is something I could say about 75% of the companies I've done API work with.
Yeah, don't look at my APIs, then you'll complain about the same thing.
Right.
All right, let's move on.
Hey,
Tom, we're going to move on. How's your week at your new company that you're going to fly to the left coast for?
it's been difficult.
Oh, no, I wasn't expecting that to be the return.
I know. Everyone is really great. And one of the most interesting things is that everyone is accountable for the stuff that they have written in the past.
Well, you're not going to fit in at all.
It's been a concern. So I've got Git Blame is one of my like number one installed extensions for VS Code, where just like figure out who wrote this line of code.
That was used against me today, by the way, but go ahead.
So I will contact people via Slack and say, hey, this Git Blame has your name on it from 8 months ago. And everyone has been really gracious in saying, oh, shit, man, that was 8 months ago. I don't know.
That was my response too.
I mean, that's about right. I just tweeted about that, actually.
I don't doubt that in the slightest. But one of the problems that I keep running into is that we've got these compound behaviors where initially the idea was do this one thing, and then someone came in and said, hey, I sold a really large company a concept, and so that concept got added to it, so now we've got a nested if statement, and then another company comes in and they're like the exact same thing, but I want the text to change here and then here, like the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen. Now you've got code duplication in nested if statements, but you have to account for the older customers. So I'm not saying that this is some unique experience for this company. This is literally what every company goes through when they do B2B business stuff. And the tickets I started out doing were all of these B2B tickets. And then I got a message today that says, hey, you're going to be leading up the B2B rewrite team, the new B2B team. And I'm like, that's great. That's awesome. Why am I leading up the B2B team? And it reminded me of this one tweet from Elon Musk, of all people. The tweet was, cook one meal doesn't make you a chef. Sew one button doesn't make you a tailor. But fuck one horse, and you're the horse fucker forever. It's like I came in and took the hardest, the worst thing on, and was like, I'm gonna be an expert at this part of the code first, because then I'm gonna move on to the rest of the code. But now I'm the horse fucker. Now I have to.
Wish you'd
now,
stop saying that.
yeah.
Don't
Now
anybody suggest that as a title either. It will not be the title. I will not use the F word in the title. I will say Tom loves horses. There's your title. Tom loves horses.
Please don't.
You're the one that brought it up.
It's totally happening now. You should know that.
I dove headfirst into the code.
Can we take that segment where he says I'm the, and then make that a YouTube short?
Oh, I like that. We've been talking about how we need to get into the whole YouTube short business. That might be our first foray.
I'm just very interested in animal husbandry.
All right. See, I feel like we do. I'm going to go ahead and go over to our Patreons because I don't do segues as well.
That's why.
Yeah. I was gonna try to figure it out, but probably not. Where? Oh, just the two of us.
Yeah, well, you didn't watch him walk away.
No. I was on the Patreons. Here, watch this. Boom. I'm prepared, baby. I'm
There you go.
prepared. Like that. Now I just need to know when he comes back. So just give me a heads up.
So you don't have the Video Ninja screen up at the same time?
I do. It's over here on my other monitor, and the way the system's been acting, I'm afraid to move it. So
Gotcha.
everything's running. I just wanted to keep it running.
Yeah. So we were talking while that Patreon screen was up. We saw the response that you couldn't hear us while we were on that screen, so we came back here.
Yeah, we'll have to fix that because I had a little Let's Go Padres in there too. So
Oh, you can't fix it while we're
I'll show you how to
chatting. I
fix
thought you
it.
were.
I could. I need to go to studio mode, which Tom was all, don't go to studio mode. Oh, hi, Tom. You're back. I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. I'm going to fix it. Why, you guys have to keep talking, though, while I fix it. Jesus.
That's fun. It's fun watching you kind of fumble through.
I'm very excited about this trip, but I'm afraid that I have spent too much money on it. Because, like, my concept of preparation for a trip is to have all of the things I need, like, gathered together. Eric, don't do what you're doing.
Yeah,
Too late.
You don't need the videos on there to get the sound.
No, you do.
No,
but
you trust me. I know what I'm.
just put them behind the image. Just drag.
Just
them down.
trust me. Hey, shh.
So,
You do you. You do you. You let me do me. Okay.
Bought new suitcase. Bought new noise canceling headphones. Bought a couple games for the Nintendo Switch.
Didn't you already have all those things?
This is my coping mechanism, and how dare you?
If only there was a place you could go and talk to somebody about this stuff. I'm
not a well understood man.
I think the people you work with would understand you. That's the whole point.
No, for sure. The problem there is they want to help, and I absolutely do not want help. I just, I want to exist in my own sphere of make them invisible. Yep, there you go. They have to be visible, but behind the top layer.
I can't hear you. You're That's been the common theme for tonight. You're muted.
I did that, but you were behind this. You kept showing up in front. No matter. Don't worry about it. Stop pestering me.
Eric, good job.
Thank you.
Very good job. You know who else has done a great job? Buttery Crumpet. Our number one unseatable Patreon supporter.
There we go.
Now, I have to throw this out. I have not
LFGSD. That's what you were going to bring up. Now it makes sense.
I have not brought up any Laravel stuff in a couple weeks because I just don't use Laravel. I want to know if it's missed. Does Eric need to take up the mantle of the Laravel supporter?
Well, I mean, I have Laravel things to discuss if we ever get around to it. I mean, we're running a little long in time here.
Was this strict mode shit?
I hate you. You're going to be fired very soon from the show. I just want you to know that. So,
I figured from the show.
For the record, there was a very lively conversation going on in our Discord about foreign keys. And we had a brief conversation about it last week. We said we'd get back to it this week. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. But I do want to call out one thing that was brought up, or one thing that we've been that was brought up about our previous discussion of foreign keys. Foreign keys and foreign key constraints are two separate topics, right? Now, in saying that, yes, that's very true. But there's also like, what's the purpose of a foreign key if there's not a foreign key constraint? At that point, yes, there's a foreign key, but it could be called anything, right?
The foreign key is just the column in another table saying, "Go over here to get the data."
But it doesn't even necessarily say go over here to get the data. It just says, hey, I have this column in my table called user ID. Now, if you happen to know that there's a user table and to look under IDs, you might find the person that this record belongs to. So
right. You are correct. Yeah, it doesn't tell you where to go. The constraint tells you where to go to find the data and make sure that it exists.
Exactly. So very valid point. And I think everybody still uses data point references, which would basically be a foreign key without the constraint.
Sure.
So it's it was a good valid point that was brought up. But I think so there was a lot of question around why are there businesses and services out there, because we talked about, John, what's it called?
Planet Scale,
that didn't support foreign key constraints. And I guess this person referenced a GitHub article that was posted. So like I said, I've stopped using foreign key constraints in a lot of my code. I haven't run into a situation where I miss it yet. I thought I was going to miss like the on cascade on delete a little bit, but no, not really.
So, a little inside baseball here. I recently had a massive bug related to a unique key that had an on duplicate key update behavior.
I'm sorry, say that again.
If you have a unique foreign key relationship, or any unique key relationship,
I was gonna say it's not on foreign keys; it's on indexes.
Then you can have an on duplicate key update behavior.
But that's on your query, not on the table.
Right. But the structure of the table affects the query. So if I change the structure of the table to say this is also a part of the of the key,
well, then you're changing the key.
No. If I change the table, the behavior of the query changes.
Depending on what your on duplicate update does.
Right.
So in general, I use this feature often with a counter.
This is a terrible feature. If
it's not a terrible feature.
If I add data to the query, then the duplicate key can just drop the data from the query completely. And if I alter the table so the key is different, then I can collide or not collide on something I'm expecting to collide on. It is an old concept that the database should structure the code and that the developers should always understand the nature of the database, but it's not always true. And it has caused me a lot of grief the last week. Like a lot of grief.
Explain how you use it, John.
So in some tracking code in a couple other places I'm looking at now, originally it was just an insert into a table. And then it was, well, it's already there. Let's increment a counter. So you say insert into table, blah, 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 all your normal insert. On duplicate key, set this field equal to the field plus 1. So now you have a counter field of this action has happened multiple times. So it's, if it doesn't exist, put it in. It's almost like a replace statement to a point, but instead of replacing, it's now altering the data that's in there. So you are relying on that key existing or some sort of duplicate key. If you add a second duplicate key, what
do you name that method?
It's not a method, it's just a query.
Right, so that query exists in a method. What do you name that method?
Insert or update in this specific one I'm looking at.
What a terrible.
This other one is called create record. I'm not saying it's great code. I'm saying this is how I use it, it has been used.
When I say
I don't even care what the method is called. It's how it's being used.
I got screwed on this for a week because the method I was calling was insert user record.
And then within that method, it was
actually updated if
it exists.
Email address is the same, but the first and last names are different.
So basically, if the username exists by email address, go ahead and update the record. So you're calling that a bug?
But the method was called insert new user record because the foresight of having a multi-domain system 8 months ago, 12 months ago wasn't there. So now that we have to support a multi-domain system, I have to have a site ID as part of the unique key.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of the method no longer matches the behavior that it executes.
But it never did. But
right.
Just to be clear, this has nothing to do with foreign key constraints. We've moved off of that into another realm of database fun. And just because you don't like that it's used that way doesn't mean it doesn't have a purpose or a value.
Well, I don't like that you have a backup parachute. How's that feel?
I will make sure to take it out next time I go flying.
Or falling.
Or falling. Slowly falling.
All right, so you talked about Laravel earlier.
It only matters the next time you go falling.
And we'll continue to talk about Laravel. I mentioned a couple shows back about how I haven't really been on Laracast in a while. And no sooner did I say that, Jeffrey Way starts showing up in my YouTube stream. And
so you're saying that Jeffrey Way is listening to your podcasts?
I think so. I really do think so. But he has a great video out. Tom had alluded to this. Look how happy he is. See, this is why you want to watch the stream. You can see how happy Jeffrey Way is. And no, you're not supposed to be able to hear it, so it's fine. I know you can't hear it. I actually have it muted on my computer. But so yeah, I guess I should scroll this up a little bit. So he has this video out about the new Laravel, new strict mode in Laravel, and I've implemented this on the API backend that I'm working on. It seems like a really good idea. Jeffrey Way actually had so this is our free video. I talked about Laracast. Laracast is the paid service he has. He's been releasing videos on YouTube again. Maybe he's been doing it this whole time. Let me see, because I feel like this is like all of a sudden he started releasing videos again. Videos 9 hours ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 7 days ago. I guess he's been pretty consistent for the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I guess he's always been releasing videos. I don't know why he never popped up on my stream before.
Because you don't subscribe. Look at that.
I do not subscribe. Wow, good call. Oh, this is not my account. This is the PHP Ugly account. So yeah, no, I do. I've got to subscribe. We should check that out at some point. But so yeah, the Laravel strict mode is pretty good. A pretty cool idea. If you've ever done any amount of development in Laravel, there are certain behaviors that aren't obvious to the naked eye. To like an unseasoned Laravel developer, it might not make sense why a certain behavior is happening. One of the bigger ones, and one of the ones that this addresses, is that when you have a model, if you define fillable fields, and then you go to do a mass create, if one of the things you're trying to add to that record isn't in the fillable field, it just won't create it, right? So the column may exist. Like, let me get off this because that's distracting.
It drops the
The co-
definite.
the column may exist. So let's say phone number, right? The column phone number might exist, but if you don't have it as a fillable field, and you go to do a mass create, you pass it a phone number, and then all of a sudden you go to your record, and it's like, hey, where the hell is my phone number? Like, the record creates, you don't get any errors, everything works, but you go to the record and you're like, hey, where the hell's my phone number? If you ever done any amount of development time in Laravel, you've probably been bitten with this. This is why a lot of people just, instead of using fillable, they use guarded and set it to an empty array, which basically says, hey, everything's fillable, which I don't understand the purpose of having the fillable if everybody's going to do that, but whatever, it happens. Well, in strict mode, this will now throw you an error. It would say, hey, I wasn't able to create this record because you passed something that's not fillable. So
Can I correct you a little bit?
Mhm.
It throws a catchable exception, which something like Honey Badger could handle very easily without disrupting service.
This is if you're in strict mode.
Yes.
I don't think he's gotten there yet.
So now it will throw an exception for you. So it's little things like that. So some of the ways that Laravel would kind of protect you, but end up having you shoot yourself in the foot. Strict mode kind of removes some of that. It is a nice feature, and the cool thing about, which I never even considered doing, the cool thing about this video from Jeffrey Way is he explains how to enable it in all the environments but production. So, or how to only enable it in production, right? Nope, sorry. How to enable it in all environments but production. So as you're doing development, you have the strict mode enabled. You're catching these errors. They're not like hidden from you. You can fix them,
But you don't break production.
But you don't break production. And my phone number example is a little contrived. But
Contrived, yep.
What really happens is, if, like, for phone number was a required column, like there was no default value or something, right? Then you start getting this error of, hey, no default value for phone number, and you're saying, well, I passed it a phone number. There doesn't have to be a default value. I passed it a phone number, and you end up in kind of spinning your wheels for a while trying to figure out why that happened.
What happens in that case if you don't have strict mode on? Does it accept it and try to fix it for you?
So Laravel is great at cascading behaviors, but one of the issues has been that if you say you're assigning a bunch of stuff to a model, and then to try to apply it, the stuff that's not fillable just gets dropped.
It just ignores it.
So
right. So you should be getting that error from the database anyway, saying I have no default value. So That's not that shouldn't be a strict mode thing.
So this is your model defines your database structure.
So, Tom, your mic is horrible, but let me try to explain it a little bit more to John. So the issue is, if it's not a required column, or if you do have a default value there, but B, what you end up as a developer doing is it sits there and says, hey, there's no default value defined for this required column, and in your head you're saying, I'm looking at the SQL statement, I'm passing a phone number, I don't need a default value, I've passed you a phone number, and you don't understand why it's ignoring it. Because
Got
keep
you.
in mind,
So now it's a more explicit error, is what you're
right,
saying. With strict mode, it's you're not allowed to pass phone number to me, so I've removed it versus a database error.
right, exactly, yeah.
Gotcha.
Because keep in mind, it's still accepting the call because the reason why it's failing is because it's not a fillable property, right?
So does this only affect this whole fillable guarded model thing, or is strict mode do more than just that?
There's three phases of strict mode. That was one of them. I'm honestly blanking on what the other two were right now.
While you're thinking about that, you brought up strict mode not in production. This is similar to having different error reporting levels in production and development.
Yes.
Where in develop you might have EAL, meaning I want every error. I mean, with one of my projects, you should see the error reporting level. It is ridiculous. It's EAL and not deprecated, not user this, not this. Like, it's basically just hide all of these errors from me. When you turn it on in develop, oh my God, it's a nightmare because, again, Codebase has been around for 15 years. You've got tons of, this array index doesn't exist, and all the warnings that are there to protect you, but the code still works.
So to expand on that a little bit, if you're updating your currently logged in user's business address and you add phone number as a field to the business address relationship, when you go into the code, it looks like you're just saying user's business address phone number. It's very, very easy to forget that phone number has to be a fillable field on the address model related to the business model, related to the user model. So like there are simple examples, but the more realistic world example is when you add something, this shit comes up all the time in Laravel. Mm-hmm. The fillable is, if you're not using fillable, you're using guarded, the star guarded, mm-hmm. and you're screwing up the security layer that's there for that whole model.
Right. So to answer your question, John, so that's prevent silently discarding attributes, which is one we just talked about. The other strict mode is prevent lazy loading. So historically, if you pulled a record from a model and it had relationships, even if you don't load those relationships, even if you don't explicitly say, hey, I want users with addresses, like addresses being a different table, right? Being a relationship to a different table. If you don't do it, Laravel will lazy load it for you anyway. So if you say, hey, get me this user, oh, what is their address? And as long as you address it through the relationship, it will give it to you. It doesn't. Strict mode there's a strict mode to prevent that. And then maybe Tom, you have some experience with this. I'm trying to remember the details around it. The third one was called prevents accessing missing attributes. So I guess you used to be able to, or you not, I keep saying used to, you still can if you don't have this enabled, but you're able to call attributes that aren't actually in the table.
Dynamically added attributes.
Yeah.
So we've got getters and setters in Laravel models, and if you call a getter that doesn't exist, it returns null. So
Right. It doesn't let you know it's not actually there. It just says, "Oh, hey, you want to, somebody, users, wait." Oh, well, it's null. It
So
doesn't say.
the most common example is full name. If you have a get, this is snake case. If you have a get full name attribute method in your model, then it will call a custom closure that you can concatenate the first name and the last name. However, in Laravel, if you call a getter that doesn't exist, it just returns null. So this allows you to say, don't allow me to call things that don't magically exist. And this is one of the magic calls in Laravel that people have a lot of problem with. And this strict mode catches that.
And so to be clear, there are 3 different strict modes you can enable. Those were the 3 we talked about. Or you can just enable one that's called should be strict, and it just essentially enables all 3 for you. So yeah, cool stuff. But I think that's it, man. I feel like we've run a little long. I feel like I've been talking to you guys for a couple hours now.
Fucked all the horses.
I'm sure Tom's got some horse porn to go look at, so I'm going to wrap this up pretty quickly. All right, that's going to do it for episode 308. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Tom.
Keep it
Keep
ugly.
it ugly.
Did not hear you
One,
say
two,
that
one,
at all,
two.
Tom.
Coming off the top,
You
y'all
gotta
know
figure
how
out
we
your mic
do.
thing.
Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can
horrible.
cherish. I'ma
And
send a
keep in
shout out
mind
to
they
the
can hear
host
us.
named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host
Steve, I
named
love it.
Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my
Steve,
freestyles, which
relate.
cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting. I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom
that's what
freestyle
he
for
does.
y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up.
I wish.
That's what you should just do is put the video behind it with him up on stage.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. I think I should do that. So, John,
You're muted, Tom.
that's
So
fine.
Eric,
don't correct him.
Promote me.
Do you understand that, like, what we thought we gave people like a lot of time to submit call for papers, that time is quickly coming to an end?
yeah,
Call it dwindling.
Dwindling.
there's still 6 weeks. I mean, we started with a lot. There's
And
still
then-
lots of time. You realize most call for speakers is only like a few
I love
weeks
the way
long.
he keeps calling it call for speakers. It's a CFP, but he calls it call for speakers. I love it.
Call for speakers.
I'm sorry. How long is it normally?
How many do you
It's
have?
only like a few weeks.
How
Is
many
it
do you-
really?
We still have 6 weeks left.
Mm.
We're going
I don't
through
know,
end of
man.
November.
It's happening very quickly. And then I was just doing the math in my head. It's like, holy crap! Like at the end, like at Christmas time, we're like full steam ahead to tech, man.
Mm-hmm. Trust me, I know. I'm freaking
So
out.
we're on PHP.net now. That got
Oh.
merged.
What?
Our stuff on PHP.net. We talked about this already. I have
Sam, you haven't submitted your talk ideas yet.
My dude, I am way past freaking out about going to Silicon Valley.
Oh my God, get over Silicon Valley. You need to focus on Chicago. For fuck's sake, man. Jesus Christ, grow a set already.
Says the man who doesn't even have a set.
So, Discord, I know it was a little rough, but you guys liking the new layout? Or we need to do something about, I don't know what's going on with Tom's mic. It's all around bad. It's bad for John and I, and apparently bad for you guys as well.
Awoods is
gonna
coming to
John.
Texas to hang with me before tech.
Who
I
is?
told you I didn't want to adjust my.
Awoods.
All right, when's
Alright.
tech?
Hey Woods, motherfucker, you better be in Chicago. If you're going to Texas,
He said he was.
all right, you better be in
I
Chicago.
told him if he had to choose between the two, choose tech.
That's
And he said
right.
he's going to both. Calm down. Hey, Woods, I got your back. Don't worry.
I'm going to Midwest too.
Maybe we
Midwest.
get a chess
Are you not
gathering
speaking Midwest?
at Tech.
Speaking of Longhorn, what?
Longhorn?
That's November 3rd through 5th. What did you say about chess set?
We should do a chess meetup at Tech.
For sure.
Chess meetup.
Traditionally, there's a board game night. I would still like to do that if nothing's been solidified, but we can have a few chess sets out.
I really need to learn chess before I go. I don't want to be a complete idiot.
Challenge me in a game.
So
I've been
that's-
challenging other listeners.
Do you know how much time I have, John? Do you know how many articles I have to read? I have to read speaker submissions now as well. I don't know when you expect me to challenge you to a chess game, but
You can make one move every 5 days.
That dude, what's his name? Magnus?
Yeah.
He just sued chess.com for $100 million.
No, that was
not
Neiman.
Magnus, the other guy,
Neiman did.
the one that was
Hans
being
Niemann.
accused of cheating.
Oh,
He sued Magnus, chess.com, and Hikaru for a shit ton of money.
yeah, probably shouldn't have sued them.
We got 12 people in our little chess club. If you listen to the show and you enjoy chess or want to enjoy chess, as am I, think about joining the PHP Ugly Chess Club. It's chess.com.
I-
enjoy chess.
I've played with a handful of people in there already.
Have you really?
Yeah.
God damn it! I'm adding
I think
that to
I
the
just
show
challenged
notes.
Sevi, but he hasn't accepted yet.
I'm going to be in Rocket League a bunch next week because
You said that.
Switch.
Joe, I wanted to talk about Lando. I do appreciate you mentioned it in Discord. Bring up a Discord while we're talking. I don't know why I'm sharing my browser, but yeah, do appreciate you bringing it up. Look, I can scroll here. Yeah. Oh, hey, Tom, here. I got this just for you actually. So check it out. This is what we're talking about. See, I got my little Vim bindings here, so I can like move around. Look at that. Look at that. Look, I can scroll. Huh? Open phpugly.com. Boom. What's up? Look at that. Didn't even have to touch my mouse once, man.
You know, I say I've challenged numerous people in our chess group, but it turns out I haven't. I've challenged.
You lied?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that.
That's disappointing.
I
can
just
switch
I
tabs.
just challenged Sevi. I played Razor in a couple of games, But I guess
You
the
played-
other people that I played have not. Like, I thought some of the people that challenged me to these 5-day games were listeners, but they weren't.
I was saying, I know you challenged you and Ben had a game going for a little bit.
Yeah, we did.
How'd that go? Tell me
I
you beat him.
lost.
You,
I lost.
Thank fucking God. Because I played, 3 games with John, and he just sent me a message that just said LOL after my 3rd move.
Did not.
You
We're-
fucking...
Hey, Tom. I don't
gotta
know if this makes you feel any better or
balanced
worse.
game.
Say
I don't know
again?
if this makes you feel better or worse, Tom. But I beat John, and I don't know how to play chess.
I hate chess.
How can you hate it? It's so much fun.
No, it is not.
What is there to hate about chess?
I have OCD, so I focus on the one wrong thing.
Eric, I'm challenging you.
I make moves where I believe I am dedicating myself to the
Be a
right.
confidence booster for him.
No, I hate chess.
I don't know how you can hate it, but I enjoyed it. I'm not good at it. Like, I watch the videos all the time. I don't know how I haven't just learned it through osmosis, because I watch enough videos. It's crazy. Like, if you watch Gotham
This
chess,
is going to be. I'm challenging you right now to a game where I'm giving up 4 pawns. Is that going to work?
I don't know what that means, but okay.
You watch. I'm challenging you. You start the game with me.
It's the advantage. Eric, you see the reviews for Gotham Knights?
No,
Do not buy that game.
really.
Yeah. Do not. It is.
Hey, while you're talking about that, Buttery, were you talking about the lengthy match? We play 5-day moves, so after I make a move, you have 5 days to make your move, so you don't even have to worry about time. It's not like we're sitting down live and playing.
Here it comes again. Total panic.
About what? Hey, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. It'll be okay.
Think about mayors and other horses. Just relax. I think you fell asleep.
That was funny, but it wasn't funny. Tom is going to be okay.
I don't understand what I'm looking at. Like,
Nothing to do with being okay.
No, don't accept the challenge over there on the right.
I'm free too. All right, accepted.
Just
Panic is not fear. Panic is panic.
There's we're each missing pieces.
you shouldn't be missing a piece. It's supposed to be balanced.
Who am I? Am I black?
Yeah, you're black.
Okay, well, I'm missing a pawn, and you're missing a horse.
That's not what I said to start with.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
That seems wrong.
I'm
It just seems way wrong.
How's the
Sorry.
Mac?
Wait, 2 moves.
There,
I
that
need a
makes
2, right?
Well,
That
you
makes
got to wait for me to make my move. There you go.
Wait,
Calm down.
wait. Oh, so white goes first. See, this is what I'm talking about. I don't
Yeah,
even
white-
know who
yeah,
goes
white-
first.
White goes first.
Damn.
Yeah, colonialism.
God. All right. I'll get it. I'll make a move in the next 5 days. I promise.
You got 5 days to figure it out. I really don't understand, because I said play odds, and it showed me a board with me missing 4 pawns, and I said start that way. I assumed it did that, but I guess it took our relative ratings and said that
Oh, interesting.
if I give up this piece, you have to give up a pawn.
Can I show you guys something?
We're still streaming, just so you know. But yeah.
So my best friend, who is also my worst enemy, bought me a desk mat.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's
What's wrong with
very-
that?
It's very nice. I'll share it in the Discord if I can figure out how to.
I am so confused.
Oh, was I muted again?
Yeah.
If you're in the PHP Ugly chess club, feel free to challenge me.
Yeah, you told
I'll
us
play-
about this
I'll-
last week.
I'll play against you.
This is my
Penises?
very fancy new keyboard on the desk mat that my best friend bought me.
Yeah, you showed us that last week.
The penises?
Yeah. 100%.
Although
All right, well-
they're lit much better than they were last week.
It's a lot of penises.
I need to stop the stream because I need the video to start the audio editing. So we're gonna wrap this up. Tom, I need wow, I don't know how to do this now. I need your face for oh wait, I have this one up here. Can I zoom in on Tom?
So I don't have Discord on this machine, which I'll be taking with me. I need to get Discord on it tomorrow.
When do you leave?
Sunday.
I just fucked up.
It's not so
right.
easy.
All right, Tom, give me a actually let me pull up my screen capture here. Give me a I'm in love with you kind of like eyes and look. Take your headphones off, move your mic, and take your glasses up.
Take these off. Take them off. Take off your glasses. That's what I was trying to go for. You don't look in love.
Fucking moving. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my fucking God. Stop fucking moving, you piece of shit. I fucking hate this guy. Perfect. Perfect, Tom. Good job.
I could hear you the whole time.
Then why did you
take your
keep moving?
glasses?
That makes it worse that you heard me. Oh my gosh. All right. Discord, thanks for hanging out with us. Let me
Yes,
get back
thank
over
you.
to Discord. Jeez, I got like all these buttons I have to hit to get back to it now. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you like the new layout. I guess so. Tom, you're going to be part of the show next week.
Yeah, I have no promises for the audio quality. I bought.
Can't be worse than today.
That's true.
I bought ear pod things to try and do something. I don't know.
All right. Well, there will be a show next week, and I think that's the last week before I got a special Halloween shirt. I've been saving.
Too.
So I have a special Halloween shirt I'm gonna wear.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting because it's the same night as the Halloween party.
So you may not be here. Gotcha. Okay.
No, I will.
You're just already gonna be toasted. That's what you're saying.
I will be Halloween happy.
All right. All right.
So
Thanks,
we-
Discord. Thanks for hanging out.